What's up, everybody? This is Trysta. Please subscribe to This League. Tap the bell, comment below, and give us a like. So now the real draft. Winners. Should I just say them and then we'll just go over them? Let's do this. Yeah, let's go. I'm going to say them and then we'll go over why. I've got my winners are Detroit, Charlotte, Atlanta, Houston, Brooklyn, Wizards, Pacers, Orlando, and an asterisk around Oklahoma City for a joke. Who are your winners?
That's kind of I didn't prepare a list, but like Atlanta definitely, Detroit with what they did, Charlotte huge, you probably covered all of mine that I would have put on my list.
Let's talk about Detroit first. I mean, goddamn, Troy Weaver. He is good. He's good at his job.
Oh, yeah.
Troy Weaver is going to be an executive of the year very soon, I think. Cade Cunningham, that was an obvious pick. But the way that he did it, he kept us all waiting. He didn't do it like New Orleans did with Zion and with AD, where it was like, we've decided, it's already chosen, there is no other thing. He was leaving the door open for other deals to come in, a lot of suspense. All of the eyes were on Detroit, because once Detroit decides who they're going to take, then the world moves on. We're still deciding, waiting. What is Detroit going to do? All right, so then he took the person he wanted the whole time, right? And then in the second round, JT Thor at 37, a guy widely thought to be a first-round talent. Then, my favorite, we talked about this the other day, Isaiah Livers at 42, snaked Portland. Portland moved into the second round just like I thought they would, trying to get Isaiah Livers at 43, and they fucking snaked him at 42. Another first-round talent if he wouldn't have broken his foot.
Right.
And then to top it off, people are sleeping on this. And now, I don't think he would have ever been, like, he's not a go-to guy, and he's not like an immediate, like, contributor. But Luka Garza at 52, I fucking love too. I like that.
At 52, sure.
At 52.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's going to be anything in the league, but at 52, yeah, sure.
Naismith Award winner, College Player of the Year. Like, who knows? Who knows? So they got the number one consensus overall, 2 consensus first rounders before the college season started, and the NCAA Player of the Year in one draft. And coming off of a 2020 draft that everyone gave it an A+, where they got Killian Hayes, Isaiah Stewart, Sadiq Bey, and 9 of their 20 wins last year were against playoff teams.
Yeah, they were the only team that had two players on all rookie teams.
Just wild.
Yeah.
I think my prediction time, I think Detroit ends up making the play-in tournament next year. I think they could pull out like easily a 9 or a 10 seed, like what Indiana did last year. They'll come in. Who knows? Maybe they'll be rocky. Maybe they'll be like Charlotte was last year, where they just all of a sudden kind of rise at the end. They're popping around 6-7. They fall, and then now they're sneaking into the play-in. What do you think?
I mean, I think it all comes down to Cade. Like, if Cade has that rookie of the year level year that we all know he's capable of, and I mean, if I had to pick right now who's going to be rookie of the year, that's who I'm taking. Then they're going to be right there.
All right, Charlotte. Oh, my Lord,
Huge.
They just keep getting players they shouldn't get. LaMelo should not have been there last year. Should not have been there. Book night should not have been there.
Yeah, I mean, that was the weirdest fall of the draft to me. Like, that just kept saying, like, okay, why are they passing on it? Like, especially the Sacramento passing on him and taking Mitchell. That was very bizarre.
Bizarre.
Yeah. 2
guys that should have been Warriors are now Hornets. And the Warriors passed on book night to get a guy that's going to contribute like in 2030. I mean, like, it's just gross. The Hornets have an embarrassment of riches at multiple positions. They've got way too many guards. And like, we've got Devontae Graham, who's a restricted free agent. They could sign and trade him for something.
Yeah.
You've got Malik Monk, who's a restricted free agent, who you could sign and trade him for something.
I think they'll bring him back, but yeah.
You think so?
I think.
Just because Michael Jordan wants to keep his own guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Then they get Mason Plumlee to add depth to the front court from Detroit. And they get Kai Jones by trading back into the first round. Like, this is absurd levels. You do not think of this when you think of the Charlotte Hornets.
No, you don't. And like for them to be able to get Book Knight and Kai Jones, I mean, Kai Jones was mocked to them like at
11.
Yeah. Like in like a shit ton of draft. Like if they'd have taken, I mean, with Book Knight on the board, it would have been different. But like, say Book Knight was off the board and they just take Kai Jones there, no one's calling that a bad pick.
No,
and they're able to get both of them. Like, okay, and like I really think like with LaMelo, a guy like Kai Jones is super valuable. Like guys that can run, catch, and dunk. Like, and he
That's
could
all
do
you
that.
need to do.
Yeah, like I love their draft. I love their draft.
All of that to say, the world, myself included, should be discussing how good Mitch Kupchak is.
Yeah.
Not only at evaluating talent, going and getting talent, but the most impressive thing of all is finagling Jeannie Buss to do what he wants to fucking do and not what she wants to fucking do. And Michael Jordan to do what he wants to do instead of what Michael Jordan wants to do. Because we know that owners' instincts are bad, mostly. And Mitch Kupchak just continues to grind and make moves. And by the way, his trades have been amazing too.
Yeah.
Like
and we haven't even talked about Miles Bridges.
No.
Yeah.
And this team has a bright future. I cannot say enough about the Detroit Pistons and the Charlotte Hornets being like my league pass teams of the year again.
Yeah. Charlotte's going to be so fun
Charlotte's
again.
going to be so fun. Atlanta. How the fuck did Atlanta have a good draft? It's crazy. He managed to get a playoff team so loaded. He's been great too. That team is so loaded, they have to get rid of Cam Reddish because they just don't have enough money to pay enough guys.
Right.
So they're shopping him because they have Herter and Collins and, so many young guys. And then they get Jalen Johnson at 20, a guy a lot of people had going higher. Supposedly red flags turned him from a lottery pick to a steal at 20. I don't know what those red flags were, but I trust Travis Schlenk. Schlenk said this about Jalen Johnson. We had him ranked much higher than 48. We got pretty excited when we saw him there late. Just a really good playmaker, good with the ball in his hands, very good passer, pushes tempo, has the ability to get to the foul line. He's an extremely talented player, great size, great raw skills, rebounds, defense. Obviously had some issues at Duke in high school as well.
Shooting.
Yeah, shooting. And then they end up getting Sharif Cooper at 48.
Yeah.
ESPN number 4 guard in the draft went to 48. I guess he had recruiting questions and an ankle injury, but he's a steal. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he averaged like 20 and 8. Like, people don't average 8 assists in college very often. Like there's something that I think he's a great spell for Trey. I mean, even if that's all they drafted him for, which I mean, he was a second round pick, so that probably is what they drafted him with that in mind.
Think about that Trey Young ankle injury, and then you think Sharif Cooper comes in instead of Lou Williams, because Lou Williams, who knows what's happening with Lou Williams? Right. If he retires, if he doesn't, who knows? And now you have Sharif Cooper to come in off the bench and step in if Trey Young gets hurt or if he needs a breather.
Yeah, and he's from that area too. I don't know exactly where he's from, but I mean Auburn's like right by Atlanta. Like he's going to be comfortable. Yeah, no, that's probably my favorite second round pick by a wide margin. How
does a team like Atlanta, who made the Eastern Conference Finals, actually get better in the draft? I just don't know. Houston, I don't like this organization. I just don't. I don't think that Tillman Fertitta is a very good owner, but he is getting out of the way. They had a stellar draft. They got the no-brainer, Jalen Green, who pretty much everybody wanted at number 2.
Yep.
Then they go and trade up for Alperen Şengün at number 16. And I think that was a brilliant move because he's going to be able to develop for 3 to 5 years before anyone even wonders what he's up to.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they've got bigs. Like he's not going to be asked to do too much too quickly.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then he was at one point ranked as high as number 1 in the draft by ESPN Plus, which is wild. And then Usman Garuba fell into their lap at 23, 10 spots below where some people thought he would land. Garuba may never score in the NBA, and then it just may not even matter. Again, another guy who's not going to be expected to do shit. Like, Houston's not going to win probably anytime soon. And that's okay. Raphael Stone called Usman Garuba the best defender in the world outside the NBA, and he's only 19. So is he like he has a more eager, coachable, international version, because we're not going to call Ben Simmons an international player. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to call him that. He's a more eager, coachable version of Ben Simmons. Just a defender. He doesn't need to shoot. He knows his role. He's not trying to play point guard. And then they get Josh Christopher at 24, who I didn't know a ton about, but his tape looks good.
Yeah, I mean, McDonald's All-American, ASU, yeah.
ASU puts out great guards. So still, you overall have to say a team that was absolute hot trash vomit, got 4 out of the top 24 picks in this draft, and 3 players rated in the top 20, and that's pretty fucking good.
And they're all guys that have at least a thin veil of excitement surrounding them. Like, you could get a guy at like 22, 23 that like, that you're kind of lukewarm on. I don't think any of those guys, like, if you're a Rockets fan, I don't think you're lukewarm on any of these 4 guys. I think you're excited. Like they could be stars. Mm-hmm. Like, all of them have legit potential, and they're all like, wow, I like their upside. A sneaky pick, a sneaky team that won is like, you get rid of Brooklyn. Brooklyn gets rid of Landry Shamet on draft night to Phoenix, which you've got to be excited about. Oh, I love it. I mean, it's actually kind of funny because James Jones, he always gets ripped for his draft picks, even the ones that pan out, like Cam Johnson. Like, everyone hated that, and he was just like, okay, how about we just like not make a draft pick? But yeah, no, I mean, swapping 29, which we all know doesn't have a whole lot of value. Javon Carter, who I really like, that I'm going to miss him in Phoenix, but he wasn't getting minutes in the playoffs. And you get a guy that has like 6th, 7th man potential, like come off the bench, spell, our guards.
Who knows what happens with Campaign, if Campaign's going to be out the door. So if he leaves, then you have somebody to come in and get some reasonable minutes right away. And he has playoff experience. I really like Landry Shamet. He can fucking fill it up from 3.
Yeah. Another great trade for James Jones.
So then, okay, Brooklyn gets rid of Landry Shamet. And you're like, all right, well, the backcourt had some issues with injuries. We're not really sure where Joe Tsai stands on Kyrie Irving. I'm sure he'll stick around, but who knows? They have to pay all these guys soon. And they get at 27, Cam Thomas.
My guy.
Cam Thomas is going to get some burn. He is going to be a quote-unquote rising player in the middle of next year where you're going to be like, Cam Thomas is balling off the bench.
Yeah, no, he's going to have a chance to, sneak into one of the all-rookie teams for sure. I mean, he has an argument for being the best ISO player in the entire draft, and he gets to go practice with Kyrie Irving, guys. Kevin Durant, and James Harden like every single day. I love it.
And you know what? Sometimes people get not what they want, but what they need. Like Cam Thomas thought he was going to be a top 15 guy.
Yeah.
Cam Thomas was fucking pissed last night.
Yeah, during the season, he was definitely thought of as a lottery guy. He slipped in the pre-draft process.
For sure. And I'm not sure why he fell so far so fast. It might have just been about like need and fit. Like, not everybody's as dumb as Sacramento, right? Not everybody's taking guards when they don't need them.
Yeah.
Sacramento.
I think it was an interview thing, and people were worried, like, oh, he doesn't.
Below the rim
guys that don't play defense, I think you just generally have like a worry about them, like, oh, do they really like care about this? And then if a guy like that then goes and doesn't perform well in interviews, then you really start thinking that. And I think that's probably what he ran into.
And the Brooklyn Nets don't give a fuck about guys that play defense.
Yeah, they don't need to. Yeah.
They don't need to. Their philosophy is exactly what your philosophy, Marty, would be if you were his GM. We just score thousands of points more than you. And that is what they're going to get in Cam Thomas. And he's going to now get to be in one of the best situations for him to grow and develop his game as a fucking bucket. I love this for him. He's not going to get paid as much, but who cares? You're going to go and play with Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, and they're going to turn you into a little monster, and then they're going to ship you out just like they did Landry Shamet. You're going to have a real opportunity to get some fucking star player minutes. Cam Thomas, you should be excited.
Yes.
You're going to Brooklyn, and you're probably going to get a ring in your first or second year. Wizards, so counterintuitive. But Tommy Shepard, to me, made it easier for the Wizards to actually, how would I put this? Look themselves in the mirror by not trading Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Once Scotty Brooks got fired, you knew that Russell Westbrook was going. Because this is the deal. Russell Westbrook came back from a quad injury that he really shouldn't have come back from. Like, he should not have gritted through that. He should not have done that. And he decided that he was going to try to do, it's actually commendable what he did. I am going to do everything that I can to get this team into the playoffs and save my favorite coach's job. And once he was not able to do that, because we thought like, oh, well, Russell Westbrook's timeline on his contract will play out exactly with the extension of Scotty Brooks, and then Russell Westbrook will be a free agent and cut ties with Scotty Brooks. And Russell Westbrook was and still is Bradley Beal's favorite teammate he's ever had. So, okay, Russell Westbrook does get them into the playoffs. They lose, and they don't save Scotty Brooks' job. And you at that point have to know it's a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, it felt that way. Yeah.
All right. So you're going to get rid of him anyway. And now you get back the number 22 pick, Montrezl Harrell, who I like, who's a young guy who can still do things. He hasn't been utilized to the best of his ability. He's only making $10 million a year. He opts in. You get Kuzma and KCP, who aren't great, we'll say, but you could flip them. They're already looking to flip them again. And you get the number 22 pick, who they end up getting. Who do they pick at 22? They got Isaiah Jackson at that spot. Isaiah Todd at 31, because they traded the number 22 pick to Indiana for Aaron Holiday.
Yeah, that's right.
And they end up getting Aaron Holiday to be in the backcourt with Bradley Beal.
Yeah. They did a bad job on the draft broadcast, by the way, of explaining these trades.
Did.
Super bad.
They did. Enough where I'm like, okay, I've got to now research this on my own.
You got to be on Twitter, in order to really understand what's going on. The NFL does the draft way better.
They do.
Yeah.
And then at 15, they get Corey Kispert, who we know is going to fill in for Davis Bertans, right? That means Davis Bertans is getting moved. Right? That's what you thought, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I love the draft because if you're plugged all the way in, there's such funny shade. You can interpret
Always.
what that means. I saw the Toronto Raptors take Scotty Barnes and I'm like, welp, see you later, Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to
talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So Corey Kispert, a Joe Harris kind of guy, 4 years at Gonzaga, can fill it up. He's going to be able to get so many open threes that Davis Bertans just decided not to make. And Davis Bertans is fucking gone. No. Send him to Dallas, where they want him anyway.
Great hair, Corey Kispert.
Great Corey Kispert. Yeah. It's a win. It's a win. So then you got Holiday, Beal, Kispert. I just like it. I like it. You went from a complete rebuild to I don't know, something.
Yeah.
Something.
You've got players that you can be excited about.
Yeah, I like that. Plus you've got Rui Hachimura. Rui Hachimura is going to get tougher with Montrezl Harrell. You know that.
Yeah.
Montrezl Harrell will eat Rui Hachimura for breakfast if he doesn't get tough. He will literally devour him whole. So yeah, they're going to trade Kuzma. And now the interesting thing is that Spencer Dinwiddie wants to play with Bradley Beal. He has said, okay, I'm willing to come here. So Aaron Holiday will be off the bench. Spencer Dinwiddie will be with Beal. And he also said, hey, I'm also going to recruit some guys to this team. DC is a fun city, district, whatever. I've lived there. It's awesome. If they can find some guys to come, who knows? Maybe they don't even need to trade Bradley Beal. That's an optimist point of view. Pacers. I think Pacers won. I think they won just based around taking Duarte. It was a no-brainer. Warriors wanted that pick so bad.
Yeah.
They snaked the Warriors. The Warriors are now still trying to get Duarte from the Pacers. That's what the new news is. We'll talk about it in the losers section. They got Isaiah Jackson at 22, which I love. Because that means Miles Turner's out. We saw that and you're like, oh, a little more athletic guy than Miles Turner. Okay, I see what's happening. Carlisle's like, get these motherfuckers out. Aaron Holiday's gone. So I like that. Did you like what the Pacers did getting him?
I thought they were going to take Moody.
Guess not.
Yeah.
Guess not.
I like Duarte. It's just, he's 24 years old, right?
I like him a lot.
I like him too. That's not me saying I don't think he'll be good or he can't be good. I just thought Moody was the more upside player, but a lot of people were passing on him too. So they're
For sure.
Must be something going on.
For sure. I think there's some.
I mean, he went to pick right after, right?
Yeah, he did. He went to the Warriors.
Yeah.
But now the Warriors are trying to ship Moody out too, and no one's taking him. So something's up with Moody. Something's up with Kuminga. Something's up with them. All right, Orlando, getting Suggs into their laps and them not, all you have to do is just not fuck that up. A lot of people were scared because, like, you have Cole Anthony, you have Michael Carter-Williams, you've got
Markelle
Fultz coming off of injury, you've got Terrence Ross, you've got a plethora of guards. And if you were a dumb person or a dumb organization, which they are, you would just not take them. You would take somebody of need. And they just, oh man, I'm loving that. I love that. They could have taken Franz. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, if you're picking top 5, I think it's stupid to pick based on need, because if you're in the top 5, you suck. So, like, you should, unless it's like a trade. So, like, you shouldn't be thinking about need. You should be thinking about who's the best player I can take that's going to make the biggest impact. And then for a guy that, I mean, everyone talking about the biggest thing about this draft was, like, we knew who the top 4 guys were. Like, we knew who the top 4 guys were. And they're picking 5. They're, like, the ones, like creeping out the window, like, oh, that stinks. We, like, just missed out. And then one of them just falls right in your lap. You got to take him. Suggs
is going to be right in the middle of the conversation for Rookie of the Year. It's going to be him and Cade back and forth. He's going to get a shitload of minutes. And now Orlando's able to trade guys that they thought that they needed. Oh, man, it's going to be great. It changes the free agent market, too, because now they get to trade guys because there's so many point guards that are going to be available, because they have like 6 point guards, 6 guards that they can get rid of. And then they take Franz Wagner at 8, which I think is kind of gross. But there was a lot of guys there that you could have grabbed at 8. You could have gotten, what's that kid's name? Book Night at 8.
Yeah.
I would have loved that, which was supposed to be who they were going to take at 5.
Right.
So you take Book Night, that would have been, you could have taken Şengün on a flyer. You could have taken, I mean, there's a lot of options.
Wagner's the guy who I just have the least amount of excitement for, like, maybe in the entire draft. And, like, maybe it's because of his brother. Maybe it's just, like, the Euro thing that, like, my brain is still just, like, programmed to think that those guys are going to be terrible. I don't know. I think he'll be
meh.
Yeah.
He'll be meh. Maybe he'll be something. Maybe he'll turn into Vooch. They did get Vooch. So they do know something.
He's not big like Vooch.
He's not big like Vooch. I'm not into it. Yeah. I'm not into it. Listen, I'm trying to convince myself, and I'm not into it. Oklahoma City. This is why they're winners. Because Oklahoma City was not intending on getting better. Like, they don't want to win anytime soon.
No.
So they take Josh Giddey and then they punt. That's what you do. You take more picks. You just accumulate picks as much as you can. Them taking on Derek Favors for a future first round pick was like, okay, I know what they are now.
From the number 1 seed in the NBA this year.
Correct. Correct. They're like, yeah, let's do this. This is what they are. There's 2 analogies that I think of them as. 1, they are the recycling scrapyard, where they say, okay, you've got a luxury car that's just a little too old and a little too expensive, a money suck. Pay us to take that car, and we're either going to fix that car up or we're going to sell it off for parts and get picks in return for it. Oh, you got a 2008 LR2? Costing you a little bit too much to maintain? We'll take it off your hands. Just give us $6,000 and we'll turn that baby around for another $6,000. Or another analogy that I have is that they're like the guy who has no interest in actually going on any dates, don't want to pay for any dates, but they just want phone numbers. They just want to put like a whole sticky note on their wall of all the phone numbers that they accumulate. Girls that they could have. Like girls that if they wanted, they could date. And then they sell those phone numbers to other people for more phone numbers. Like they don't actually want to date anyone. Ever. They never want to get married. They just want numbers and the potential for more numbers. That's them. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, they just keep
At some point, they've got to like want to win, right?
I mean, they're playing a super long game. They're doing exactly what the like Sixers did and what kind of Phoenix did, but they're doing it to like a way bigger extent, just accumulating assets. And and they're talking about trading Shea too. Like,
yes.
Yeah, like,
by the way, Shea was another one of the Mitch Kupchak drafts. By the way, he picked him up. That was a Charlotte Hornet draft pick. Yes, sir. Yeah, that was traded to Oakley. That was traded to LA Clippers, and then to yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyway, they just don't ever want to be good. They're going to trade Shea because they don't want to be good. So, I mean, they're going to be good in like 2035. The NBA changed the rules because they were literally like, give us your 2045 first rounder. Like, they're like, dude, we don't even know if the planet will be available then. Like, we're not even sure. Global warming and dinosaurs and like COVID, we're going to get like the COVID zebra variant by the time Oklahoma City's any good. It's crazy. It's crazy, but that's them winning. That's them being winners.